With iterated forecasts, the idea is that we have some data, and we have some data which we use for estimating the model, and we have here some period into the future which we would like to forecast the y variable, for example. So up until now we have looked at the one step ahead forecast, but if we make this forecast, then for time t plus 1, then we can use this forecast as an input into our model for the second step forecast for time t plus 2. And this can go on, we can iterate, so we just use the same model to make the time t plus 3 forecast. And this can go on indefinitely, but of course the forecast way into the future will be more and more uncertain. To fully grasp the idea behind iterated forecast, we can look at this example. And suppose that we have the following AR1 model. So AR1 model means that we have one lag, and AR means that this lag is on the dependent variables itself. Okay, so and we have the GDP growth rate called GDP-GR, and we estimate these coefficients by using data from 1962 quarter 1 to 2012 quarter 4. And the intercept is 1.99 and the slope is 0.34. And by dividing these coefficients on their respective standard errors, then we see that these t values are definitely above the critical value on the 5% significance level. So we can say that these coefficients are different from 0. Okay, so we have a table with values of the GDP growth rate from 2012 quarter 1 to 2012 quarter 4. So these are observed values, and we would like to use this model to forecast the GDP growth rate in 2013 second quarter. And remember that we only have data until 2012 quarter 4, so now we have to forecast 2013 quarter 1 and 2013 quarter 2. So we have a two-step forecast in this case. And the value of the GDP growth rate in 2012 quarter 4 is 0.15. So we use our model, and we use the coefficients which we estimated in the previous step, and now we use our last known value of the GDP growth rate, which was the one for 2012 quarter 4. This is the last information we have, and that was 0.15. So if we plug in 0.15 in our model, we get a forecast of 2.04 for the growth rate in quarter 2013, quarter 1. And that is a forecast 1 period into the future. So we are, by our model, we say that our estimate for the GDP growth rate in 2013, quarter 1, is 2.04% or percent. And this forecast we can use as if it was data, as if it was observed data, to find the growth rate for quarter or 2013 quarter 2. And what we get is we plug in this forecast in the model, the GDP growth rate forecast for 2013 quarter 1, which we got using information up until 2012 quarter 4, and we plug it in here and get the estimate of 2.68% for the GDP growth rate of 2013 quarter 2, given this bar is just pronounced given information at 2012 quarter 4. So with what we know in 2012 quarter 4 and our AR1 model, we can say that our estimate or our forecast for the GDP growth rate in 2013 quarter 1, quarter 2, it should say, is 2.68%. This was an example of using the AR1 model for forecasting several steps ahead with an iterative forecast. But we can use an ARP model with an arbitrary number of legs in the same way. Just remember to replace the yt plus 1 with its forecasts, which we use. So you always use the estimated forecast as if it was a data point whenever you iterate forward this model until, for example, t plus 3. When it comes to the VAR model, it becomes quite interesting because the VAR model has several time series, right? So this is, for example, the yt, and this is the xt, and they are plotted on the t dimension here. And what you have from time 0, you have a certain amount of data points until capital T, and what you would like to do is to make a forecast for time t plus 1. Okay, but now you are actually making a forecast for not only yt plus 1, but you are also making a forecast for xt plus 1. So here you have yt plus 1, and here you have xt plus 1. And these are just numbers, okay? So these are the forecasts which you have made looking at your model and applying your model to historic data. And when you try to make a forecast for t plus 2, so time t plus 2, then you treat these t plus 1 forecasts as data. So now you can make another forecast here. So the second step, and just plug in the data into the model and get a forecast for yt plus 2 and xt plus 2.